not really trying to paint every little detail there. I'm just trying to imply that there's some depth of field. So I'm just really putting a yellow bright highlight right on the top. Also, over here on the palette, I mixed up a green. You don't have to show that, honey. I mixed up a green because really do see a lot of green in here. And I'm just defining a line there, which is going to be my very, very top of this headpiece. And even though there is no yellow stripe at the top, it's a real blend of a bunch of colors. I'm using the yellow because it's the brightest color I have, and it's going to exhibit the most light. Okay. Now I'm throwing a little. I put a yellow stripe on there. Now I just throwing a little green in there. So I see green in there. And what I'm doing is just trying to suggest that these lines are in here. One of the things, a lot of people look at my paintings and they think that, oh, they're so refined and they're so complicated. It's not really true. As you've seen in this process, it's the picking out of the things that are essential and painting those and painting those as accurately as possible, that that the viewer's mind begins to see it more clearly than it really is. Fascinating process, really. Okay. Now I'm going to throw a little bit of a blue in there, and I'm just throwing like little dots and dashes across there. Not painting a perfect little line. I'm not doing that. Okay. Now I'm gonna throw a little red burgundy stripe across there, but I'm not making I'm not making a perfect line. I'm just throwing dots and dashes, suggesting that there's a red stripe up in there. And now these stripes don't necessarily, they go across, but there's also little things in between which are heading down, which are heading down this way. Little cross hatching bits. So I'll throw some of those things in there as I go too, to suggest that. I'm going to put a little more red, and the blue gets stronger. So the reason I have these colors, you saw the palette before, where I have the greens and the blues and the oranges all up on the top of the palette, and I've mixed a few basics. But now whenever I want to, I just dip right back. If I want a stronger blue than I've mixed up, then I just go back up there and pick that up. Right? You got it? Okay. I'm implying enough of a stripe up here on the top areas to let the viewer know that this is a striped fabric. And I know in my mind that I can, at this point, that I can paint, if I want to spend the time and the energy, I can paint this headpiece as accurately as I want to. Take it as far as I want to. And so what I'm saying to you is you can do the same thing. You can take it as far as you want to. Right now, we're doing the fundamentals of it. Okay? I really like this. I don't know why. It must be the subject matter. Okay, I'm gonna take there's a couple of little light blues in here, and I'm gonna throw those in too. They're sort of dominant to my eye. I'm seeing some light blue. And you see, I'm not making perfect stripes. I'm just sort of whacking in some lines. And the more I do it, the brighter I get, the better this thing looks. And it doesn't matter if it's perfectly accurate, because all of a sudden it just, you can imagine what it is. It just, I really like this, man. I'm going to go with the green. I see a dark green. So you see, I'm just moving where my eye takes me here. And well, working on this little green thing. You know what's funny about this, what I'm doing right now, is I'm painting this green stripe, and as I'm looking at it, it's really not even a green stripe. I don't even know where I see it, but my eye picks it up, so I'm putting it in there, and I realize it works. It works just fine. I could just as easily have a green stripe there as not. Now I'm going to throw in a little bit of orange. There's a strong little orange stripe right here. And in the headpiece, as I look at it very, very carefully, it's not really orange. It's a yellow and an orange mix, but the dominant color is orange.
Let me come and get a close-up on the headpiece under the light.
So she's showing you what this headpiece really looks like, and I'm showing you how I'm interpreting it. Right? Okay, now here's a real important bit. Right here next to my head, right next to my forehead, that is vital. Because the way you approach that and the way you do that really gives the highlighting and the form of the forehead its real interest. So I'm going to do that very carefully right now. Now there's a final little stripe right here, right? The last little bit that goes to my forehead is, I see it as an orangey kind of a color. So I'm going to really get a little bit more careful here on this one thing. I'm using some medium here because I don't want to overdo, I don't want to go over this one any more than I have to. So it's orange and it's, well, I'll show you in a second here. And this is where it becomes particularly important for you to pay attention to what you're doing. You can't just, this one, you have to do it accurately. Now, by accurately, I don't mean you have to paint every little thread, but you do have to get the light and the darks of where it rolls around here. You have to be good about that. Okay, and where the where this actually meets the flesh, where this material actually meets the flesh, there's there's going to be a dark shadow. And then on the forehead, there's a real strong highlight right there. That's key to this painting. So I'm going to do it right now. I put in the orange. And now I'm going to put in the shadow. I'm going to use you don't use black or anything. I'm going to use a reddy color. Okay.